The market thinks NVIDIA's AI run is over. Earnings are due for a reset. I think it's the reason NVIDIA could still be one of the best performing AI infrastructure names into 2026. The video breaks down the $65.6 billion revenue setup, the CUDA moat, and my full bear base and bull valuation framework, which makes an interesting thesis. NVIDIA is projected to generate $65.6 billion of revenue in 2026. The biggest concern is that this number bakes in the peak AI demand that can't be sustained. I think that is wrong. That $65.6 billion sits on top of a $600 billion AI CapEx wave, and NVIDIA is at the center of every major build out. NVIDIA is guiding to roughly 75% gross margins. That is not normal semiconductor economics. That's a software level pricing power. Peers expect competition from AMD to crush those margins, but as long as the CUDA remains the standard, pricing looks less like a commoditized chip and more like a toll on AI infrastructure. From 2024 to 2026, hyperscalers on track to spend around $600 billion on CapEx. The market worries this spend spikes, then normalizes. The more realistic outcome, AI becomes a structural line item, like cloud did a decade ago, and NVIDIA captures that recurring spend. Data center is the engine of the NVIDIA story. The AI thesis lives or dies on this segment. As long as the workload shifts from CPU to accelerated compute, NVIDIA's core business is still compounding. What matters for 2026 is not just the units shipped, but sustained utilization as AI moves from experimentation into production. Everyone sees the GPUs. Fewer people see CUDA. Millions of developers have built directly on NVIDIA's software stack. The biggest concern is what if a cheaper chip wins? But this isn't a problem, it's a moat. Rewriting entire code bases and retraining teams is far more expensive than paying the NVIDIA's premium price. NVIDIA's product cadence is the fastest it's ever been. Hooper, H200, Blackwell, and the next gen hardware in 2026. That customer waiting period you hear about actually resets the performance bar every cycle. It keeps hyperscalers locked into NVIDIA's roadmap and makes it exponentially harder for slower competitors to catch up. On top of the hyperscalers, there's a new buyer class, sovereign AI. Governments in the US, Europe, and Asia are building national stacks. These buyers care less about squeezing gross margins and more about security and control. Sovereign demand extends the AI build out beyond the big four clouds and supports that revenue part. For 2026, my bear case assumes CapEx slows and NVIDIA trades at a compressed multiple. The base case assumes hyperscaler spend stays elevated and margins hold near mid 70s. The bull case is simple. NVIDIA owns the AI stack. The market still underestimates how long this super cycle can actually last. The reason NVIDIA commands its valuation is vertical control. Chips, networking, and software form a single AI operating system. If you believe AI workloads are still in the early innings, then the infrastructure king, the picks and shovels, captures most of the economics. That is the core of the 2026 bull thesis. There are real risks involved. Competition from custom silicon at scale, regulatory pressure on high-end GPUs, and classic CapEx cyclicality. Despite all of this, the combination of CUDA lock-ins and sovereign demand means the downside is likely more about multiple compressions than the business collapsing. For me, NVIDIA sits in the inner ring, core AI infrastructure held with a multi-year view into 2026. The thesis is simple. If AI is real, you want exposure to the toll collector. If this breakdown has helped you, consider liking the video and subscribing for more earnings and stock analysis like this, which will be very useful.